People do not realize how much money they are spending. With advertisements always being bombarded everywhere we go, I can't blame people why they impulse spend just because the system has made it so easy for people to buy anything at the touch of a button or not even touching literally anything anymore because we have things like tap to pay now. However, here are some tips that have helped me out, spend less money on random stuff that I don't need. So the main thing that I was going to talk about in this video is to add friction. So basically, the reason everything is so easy to buy now is because the websites, social media, and grocery stores, restaurants, whatever it is, everything has made it easier to buy anything that you could possibly wish for. I mean, considering the system is built on capitalism and money is the only thing that drives literally anyone and anything in this damn country, they have made it as easy as possible for people to make some money for themselves. For example, every time you go on social media, you are targeted with very specific ads tailored to your interests. Like, when you talk to your friend and you like mention something that you might want to buy, and then they're always listening and they always send you some very specific ads toward that stuff. Or if you go on social media and you start looking at clothes, because I know I do this and I want to buy clothes relatively soon, I am bombarded with ads of clothes, and I definitely go on websites and still look around. However, I don't make a bunch of impulse purchases and stuff like that. And that's just how the algorithm works now. They want people on the platform for as long as possible. And here are just some kind of ways that I've just been kind of figuring out. And um, anyways, those ads make it so easy to buy their products now because all you have to do is click the link and it will send you to that very specific process, not process, very specific product to their website. You don't even go to their homepage anymore. They send you the exact link to that exact item now. And all you have to do is just add it to your cart. Most people have their credit cards saved on their accounts and everything like that. And when you visit their page, you'll just see a link, floating around. Like every time you go on an Instagram page and it has a website to it, there is a link at the bottom of the screen that you can just click on to go to their website. Another example of what makes it so easy for people to buy anything is tap to pay. Everyone has a smartphone and everyone carries it around wherever they go. And now you can buy things just by hovering your phone over any card reader or anything like that. And you don't even have to think about it before you even spend it like money. So it's just so easy to buy everything now. No wonder why people just buy nonstop. So I have some kind of tips for some people, like how do we kind of fix this problem? The real thing is that we have to add friction. Just because everything is so easy to buy now, basically what this means is that you need to make it more difficult to make a purchase. So you can add more obstacles to the purchase. And here are a few tips and ideas just to add some friction to the purchase and everything like that. So my first tip here is remove saved cards and passwords and stuff like that. I know this sounds like a pain to do, but you should remove your cards on your phone, laptop, and your desktop. This way you will have to put in your password every time you make a purchase, or you'll have to put in your card every time you make a purchase. If you're anything like me and you have a long password that's kind of complicated, then you're going to be too lazy to even buy anything because I simply do not want to type out my credit card number or my password just so I can make a purchase for something that I might not even need. And if it is harder to do this, then you're going to have a second to think of why you're even buying something. And maybe it's just based off emotion. Maybe you actually need it. So there are different ways to kind of think about things when you make a purchase. Also, it's going to make it harder for tap to pay to even work because you're not going to have it in your virtual wallet anymore. And you're going to have to think about adding your card to your wallet. And you're not going to be doing that when you're waiting in line anyways. So most people don't. Honestly, I don't really use tap to pay. I kind of use it every once in a while for smaller purchases, but I don't really use tap to pay. So I was kind of glad that I haven't really had that issue, but I know a lot of other people have had this issue. My second tip that I definitely did was I unsubscribed to emails, like every single one for the most part. Like if I actually don't go to the website often, I'm not going to be subscribed to them anymore. Because every time you buy something, every damn website nowadays always asks for an email and a phone number, and it's honestly so annoying. And honestly, just go through your emails, start unsubscribing to basically everything that isn't a necessity. And most of the time, it's just, I don't know, they just always bombard you with a way to get back to their website, because every time they'll send you like a link, or like a very specific title or some kind of sale, buy one, get one free, 20% off, free shipping, whatever it is. They're always going to try and send you something so they can, get back to the website and make a purchase. And I understand that everyone is trying to get their bag, but this is just some tips for people who are very big on impulse spending, or they buy based off emotions, because there are marketing teams that have really figured this stuff out, and just the human psychology in general, and why people buy things and what colors influence people and all this other stuff. So honestly, just unsubscribe to really anything. So I was just so tired of seeing sales every time I went on my phone and I went on my email, because I use my email to communicate with a lot of people, whether it's like music or consignment stuff, or like all my creative stuff. I always communicate through email because that's what I prefer, or at least in person. I don't really DM people as much, but that's kind of a different topic. Um, so I was just tired of seeing sales and deals every time I open my phone. And this is what I exactly mean when we're bombarded with advertisements. Because at first it was just on the TV, but now that we basically have a huge TV in our fucking pockets, we can literally do anything that we want. Um, so let's see what else I got here. So my third tip is get rid of any shopping apps. I don't have any shopping apps. I don't really care, besides like maybe Amazon, but I don't really buy much off Amazon anyways, because it's Amazon. And if I really need something very specific, I will probably go on Amazon. I try my best not to buy stuff from Amazon. I try and buy like local stuff if I can, but it is what it is. But you don't need a bunch of random shopping apps. You don't need the Shop app. You don't need H&M. You don't need Zara. You don't need whatever it is, whatever apps there are that make you buy things. You don't need DoorDash. You probably don't need Uber Eats and Temu, whatever it is. Just get rid of all these apps that you shop on, because you don't really need them, let's be real. And I understand if there are coupons and rewards, but I feel like most of those are given to people just to spend more money anyways. I feel like coupons and rewards and stuff like that is kind of a scam, but there are probably good rewards out there that are actually worth using. But I'm just saying, be wary of what you have on your phone, because it just makes it easier to buy literally anything. And this is my fourth tip that I use all of these. First one is I have an app blocker. The second one is I put my phone into grayscale mode, and I'll tell you why in a second. And I also turn my notifications off for the most part. But you don't really need to turn off your notifications if you have an app blocker. But anyways, so this one is for people who have trouble on like Instagram and TikTok shop, because I was talking to a friend the other day, and he said that he wasn't, or not he wasn't, he doesn't like going on TikTok a lot, because it gives him a reason to buy things. Like a lot of people buy things through TikTok shop. I've never personally bought anything through TikTok shop, just because I'm never on TikTok or anything like that besides posting content. But so the reason I'm adding these to the list is just to kind of get off your phone, not just for mental health reasons, because that also makes people, impulse buy as well. But the harder you make it to go on your phone, the harder it is to buy something anyways. And personally, I love the app blocker that I have on my phone. It's called 𝐲𝐿𝐿. It helps me a lot by not going on social media as much and being influenced by ads. And I mainly got this screen block, or this app block, to, not be on my phone as much. I've never been an impulse buyer, but I know there are people who are impulse buyers. So this will definitely help you if you put it into strict mode and actually purchase it. It is a good app to purchase. It is a yearly purchase. It's not super expensive. I suggest looking into it if you're interested. And then another part is I put my phone into grayscale. It really makes your phone super boring, to the point where like even going on it to look at social media just kind of looks weird. And when you switch it back to colors, it's almost overwhelming, because there is just so much color that it hurts my head every time I switch it. And the reason you want to put your phone into grayscale mode, as I was mentioning before, is that these marketers and people who design these apps make it as addicting as possible. And there are very specific colors in marketing to make you make purchases and make your phone more addicting, to the point where like you just can't get off of it. And that's why they made everything the scrolling method too, just because you can be going through it as easy as possible. So put it into grayscale mode. I know it's probably going to suck for like the first week because you're just going to be so used to dopamine hitting your brain all the time. And I totally understand that, but just put it into grayscale mode. You'll thank me later. Another thing is just turn off your notifications. You don't need to be notified every time there's a sale or for whatever it is. And honestly, notifications are just annoying in general anyways. My phone is usually on do not disturb like 90% of the day anyways, just because I don't like the notifications and the sounds and all of that stuff to just make me go back on my phone. But anyways, guys, these were just a few tips that I personally do, at least most of them that I do. And it has helped me a lot, and I really appreciate that I don't spend my money on a bunch of random stuff that I don't need. As someone who is honestly borderline minimalist or is a minimalist, I'm hoping that I can make videos for people to, make more thoughtful purchases and not just buy things on a whim, and they don't need like 50 pairs of shirts or 50 pairs of pants and stuff like that. That's kind of why I made this channel, just because I do like making music, and I kind of thought of a way. I didn't really know what to do with this channel, to be honest, and I was mainly going towards a commentary channel, but I'm kind of niching it down to more like financial literacy and kind of stuff along those lines. I mean, there's a lot more for me to learn as well, but there's still a good amount of stuff that I know that I can definitely, give out to people. But anyways, guys, I hope you're having a great rest of your day, and I'll talk to you guys in the next one. Peace.
Mil desengaños. Pasaron desde aquel ayer, ya tantos años.